Hi, this is the Common Man's Fighter. It's my own design, designed to be able to stab through heavy material by throwing a simple punch. You hold it this way. You take the pommel hook, you rest it against the heel of your hand, and you put your thumb on the back of the blade. That sets the knife up so that when you throw an ordinary punch, it turns sideways and stabs point first, cutting about 3.5 inches wide, 5 3/4 inches deep. What ends up happening here is this. As you throw the punch, the point strikes slightly to the left of your target and slices across as it penetrates because of the angle of the blade. What this does is it leaves a 5 3/4 inch deep cut, approximately 2 to 3 inches wide, simply by throwing a punch. An ordinary knife, either a trailing point, like this one. Well, this is actually a drop point, but you get my idea. If you try and hold it in the same way, one, it slides off of your hand, and two, you don't strike with the point, you strike with the belly.
Why does it slide off your hand?
Because of the shape of them. They're designed to be held like this, instead of having the curve down to sit against the heel of your hand. And it strikes with the belly instead of with the point. Which, if it goes up against some kind of heavy material or a hard target, it won't penetrate correctly. When a person is extremely frightened or excited, they don't have time to stop and think about what is the best way to use this knife. And they'll fall back on instinct, which says, throw a punch. With an ordinary knife, in order to achieve an effective stab, with being held the way they normally are, either like this or like this, you have to throw an unusual strike. You have to either hit this way or this way. In doing that, you achieve a good stab with it. However, most people, when they're frightened or excited, unless they've been specifically trained in knife fighting and had it drilled into their muscle memory, are simply going to throw a punch. In which case, they're not effecting a stab. However, with the Common Man's Fighter, you simply hold it this way, and when you fall back on the punch, you've now effected a very wide slice and a very deep stab, simply by throwing the punch that our instincts say we should throw. A few of the features on this knife is, one, is the handle wrap. It's split leather, so it's very rough but yet soft, and it won't slide if your hands get sweaty. It's also wrapped with an overlap going this way to prevent your hand from being able to slide towards the tip. This is an extra security precaution. It also has this hook on the pommel and this hook on the crossguard. These are in case your target happens to dodge a little bit and you miss with the blade itself. I've now put a tear across it with that hook. And as you pull your hand back, it does that with the cross. It also is sharpened back here on the back edge, just right down here towards the tip. That is to help as it stabs this way, to be able to cut on both sides, or to be able to just do a snit with the tip for a slice, to make it a little bit more versatile. There's also a little bit of a hook in the blade. This is there for a couple of reasons. One, it helps bring the point around to be able to strike well with the point while you're throwing a punch. Now also, if you do throw a slice, it helps it to dig a little bit deeper because it's hooked, just like claws.